Okay, I'm doing a redo of the May the 5th broadcast. It's May the 5th, 2019, and today is May the 11th. Okay, so let's see. I'll make sure everything's recording here. It's Thunder Talk, this show. Sorry. Yeah. All right. The show is Thunder Talk, and this is your host, Thunder Bear, the Courage Family. And yeah, so just to briefly explain, my when I did my show last Sunday, it did not go out over YouTube, and I forgot to hit the damn record button. So it didn't get recorded. It just did not get recorded. Not only that, but the station manager, he was having equipment trouble, and he didn't get to record it. So I'm redoing the whole damn thing over again. Okay, so my. This show, this particular episode here is about the courts. Okay. And I will probably get into some of the news. I didn't get to do too much of the news last Sunday. I'm going to try to, I don't know, try to work more into it, more the news into it. Now, there's things I want to talk about tonight about citizenship becoming a national and all kinds of stuff like that. Okay. But I have to go back over the basics of courts. Now, I learned a lot of stuff. Oh, hang on one moment here. Okay. I learned a lot of stuff from Carl Lentz. Okay. Back when I first started, I didn't know about him. That's Carl with a K. Karl, and then Lentz, Lentz. I didn't know his stuff when I first started in this legal, lawful stuff. Yeah, I was basically a sovereign citizen at that point, or at least what I thought was a sovereign citizen. It turns out there's no such thing as a sovereign citizen. I was in the sovereign citizen crap, and that's what most of it is crap. I then got into the free man on the land stuff. Some of that kind of works a little bit. Some of it doesn't. It was semi-effective. And then I stumbled upon Carl Lentz. Now, at the time that I stumbled upon him and his stuff, instead of trying to say you're a sovereign citizen or a free man on land, you're just a man or a woman, as the case may be. And it's really super simple stuff. Now, at that time, I was trying to help my friend who had been railroaded by the courts. He didn't do anything wrong. I mean, absolutely nothing wrong. The cops had actually tortured him. And they had no reason. They had absolutely no reason to pick on him. So anyway, he had been sentenced to jail for 3 years, but because I stumbled upon the Carl Lentz's stuff, I improvised. This is something that Carl has never done that I'm aware of, is get someone out of jail. I got my friend out of jail in about 7 days. Okay. Now, how I did it was, well, Carl was talking about how you can get your kids back from child protective services. He said basically you just claim them as your property, and you can get them back if you do it the right way. It's pretty simple stuff, but you got to stick to your guns. You can't let them bull crap you. Okay, they will try to mislead you. They will lie to you. They all do all kinds of stuff. But basically, what you're doing is claiming your kids as your property. Well, what I did was I claimed my friend as my property. I adopted him lawfully, not legally, but lawfully. And I made sure the courts knew exactly what I was doing. And the next thing I know, they're saying, no, he's got a hearing. He's got a hearing and he'll be out. He'll be out. And boom, he was out. You know, I actually showed up at outside the hearing. I couldn't go in, but I could, be on the outside, and they said, yeah, he's going to be released. And I went to the jail and I waited for him, and and he comes out, and he had no idea what had done, what had happened, what I'd done or anything. But yeah, I put the paperwork together. I did it all myself. I did it on basically Word processor, Microsoft Word. You can do a lot of things. You can do it by Microsoft Word or just any other word processor or whatever, or just writing. But if you're going to write it, you need to print. That is very, very important. You need to print. Don't use cursive. Also, use plain English. The simplest words are the best to use. All right. You make it whatever it is that you're writing, whether it be a notice or like a notice of status or notice of seeking clarification to the court, whatever. You make it so damn simple that even a 10-year-old can comprehend it. You do not use Latin. You do not use French or Greek or whatever. Most of the legalese stuff there's a lot of Latin in it, and there's a lot of and maybe even some French, like the C'est oui que vie trust, for example. C'est oui que vie is French. So yeah. The thing is, the bottom line to their courts is it's all make believe. It's stage plays. That's what a stage play is. It's a make believe thing, right? If you go to see a stage play, the actors don't actually believe what they're saying. They're not the characters. The characters are separate. And, the characters are, like, let's say you see we'll say Star Wars stage play or something, and you have Mark Hamill. Let's say Mark Hamill is reprising his role as Luke Skywalker. Okay. Well, Luke Skywalker is a character. It's a fictional character. It's a legal name in essence. Luke Skywalker is technically a legal name. It is the name of a person. All persons are fiction. Okay. I really, really hope that you're hearing all this just fine. I have no way of testing it. I have no way of listening in and hearing everything. I hope this is going to be fine here. I tested it beforehand, so it should be fine. So anyway, yeah. Persons are always fiction. Okay. Person, the word person goes back to Latin persona, which means mask. People and peoples. People is singular, peoples is plural, and I know they tell you differently. It's a part of the entire system that wants to keep you in control. They want you to think that you are a person. Okay. Because that's the only thing the courts have control over is persons. They have no control whatsoever over people. So singular, people, plural, peoples, singular, person, plural form, persons. You've seen this, you've heard this before, and yet it's never sunk in, has it? Seriously, I mean, you've heard the word people, you've heard the word peoples, you've heard the word person, you've heard the word persons, but you don't think to question. You just don't think the question. Most of you don't anyway. Some of you may know exactly what I'm talking about. So anyway, the person has a lot to do with the birth certificate. Now, when the police look up my legal person as it stands right now, okay, it says do not arrest, do not detain, federal level, all in capital letters. Do not arrest, do not detain, federal level. I know that's what it says on the computer because I saw it with my own eyes. They're not supposed to let you see that stuff, but I didn't know it was on there when I was looking at the computer screen and it popped up. It's like, whoa, I started laughing my ass off because I was actually under arrest for using a shopping cart at a grocery store for like 1 minute. Seriously. Or less than a minute, actually. I was on my way into a grocery store and I put my backpack in a shopping cart to put something back into my backpack. And then I was going to go and do some shopping. And that's when the cops came and arrested me. And I said, "What are you arresting me for? What's the charge?" And he says, "Using shopping cart." In fact, before he even arrested me, he says, "That's your shopping cart." And I said, "Well, no," because I didn't need the shopping cart except to, as a prop for my backpack or a stand or something for my backpack for like maybe 30 seconds. So yeah, that was the official charge. I knew what was really going on. Of course, they were looking for something. They were searching my backpack. They wanted to get something on me. Okay. They wanted to get something on me. I didn't know that status was in there, but I did everything to get that status. Now, how did I get the status? Well, before that, the last time I was in court, I proved the birth certificate was null and void from the beginning because it wasn't filed in the correct number of days. It says right on that birth certificate when it must be filed. In this case, and with this particular birth certificate, it said it must be filed within 5 days. Okay, must be filed within 5 days. It wasn't. So I proved that it was null and void from the beginning. Now, what is a birth certificate? It's a letters patent. It's creation of a corporate entity. Okay, let's look at Obama's birth certificate for a moment. You got Barack Hussein Obama, right? Everyone's saying, "Oh, that birth certificate's fraud. It's fraudulent." Actually, technically, no. It is backdated. There's no doubt about that. It was definitely not created back in 1960. I can't remember, 63, 65 or whatever. It was not created back then. I can tell. I took one look at a photocopy of it in the newspaper, and I can tell that it wasn't created when they said it was created, but it doesn't matter because their entire world is a fictional world, and Barack Hussein Obama is a person. Barry Soetoro, on the other hand, the man who everyone knows as Barack Hussein Obama, well, that man is a man, and he was born in Kenya. Barack Hussein Obama was born in Hawaii. All right. That's it. Barack Hussein Obama was born in Hawaii. Barry Soetoro, on the other hand, the guy that you see when you say, "Oh, that was the president back then," that's Barack Hussein Obama. No, that's the man, Barry Soetoro. Okay, if that, I don't know. There's conflicting information about him and who he really is and everything. But yeah. The man was born in Kenya, but the person was created in Hawaii. Okay. That sorted all that stuff out for you. So technically speaking, that birth certificate was fine, other than it wasn't created on the date they said it was created on. But who cares? Really? Who cares? All right. So when they create that corporation, what happens is, okay, let's say you're in the hospital, you're born in the hospital. Well, the hospital is admiralty jurisdiction. Okay. in the chapel, you'll probably find an American flag with gold fringe on it in all the hospital chapels. Okay. They're telling you point blank it's Admiralty jurisdiction. Okay. That's what they're telling you. It's Admiralty jurisdiction. So since it's Admiralty jurisdiction, you as a live little baby are considered a merchant vessel. You sailed through your mother's waters and you were birthed. Okay. I know you say, well, that's spelled Berth. Yeah, it doesn't matter. Okay. It does not matter. That's the crazy thing about the legal society is some of the spellings are not the way we would spell things. Okay. Plus they use dog English and dog Latin. That is English and Latin that's not grammatically correct. Okay. Anyway. Yeah, when you're born, that property that's created, the birth certificate, which as I said, it's creation of a corporation with no assets to it. Okay, it's a creation of it's a corporation in name only. That's abandoned on the docks because your parents didn't go back and claim that. In a way, they created it, sort of. The government actually stepped in and through fraud created it, but they used your parents to do so. Okay. They used your parents' names to create that corporation, the corporate entity. All right. Everyone got that so far? I know I'm throwing a lot of stuff at you, and maybe I should slow down a little bit. Look, when they have their courts, okay, their courts are not real courts. It's all administrative stuff. Every bit of it's administrative. So when they have their courts, what they're doing is they're essentially, well, they have all these presumptions, okay? Presumptions and assumptions and whatever, okay? They can presume that you are lost at sea or that you're dead or any number of things. And that's one of the reasons why they want an attorney arguing on your behalf, as it were. The attorney has the first duty to the court. You can see that in corpus juris secundum. Okay, that's translated as the second body of the law, corpus juris secundum. Okay, chapter 7, I think. So, yeah, you can see. The thing is, all this stuff I'm telling you, it's technically not really a secret. Okay, it's out there, it's available. It's just, it's hard to find unless you know where to look. Fortunately, we have the internet and lots of researchers. Okay, a whole lot of researchers have done a lot of work. So, anyway, yeah, they have all these presumptions, and you can get rid of their presumptions. You can do that with a notice of status. Hang on, let me pull up my notice of status. See, I need to go over to my over to one of these files here, being free folder, and go up to my sword and shield method, which I highly urge you to get, by the way. I should have left it in the description. I forgot to leave it in this. It's in the description of one of my videos. Okay. I just forgot to do that. That is the not the sword and shield method itself, but the link to it. Also my contact information and stuff like that's there as well. Okay. So, I don't know, maybe I can come back in and after this is done and edit. I think I can. I think I can edit the text. So I'll put in my contact information in and all that sort of stuff. Okay, let me see. I'm at my sword and shield method. Here's a notice. I, comma, living man, and in 4 corner brackets, I have Thunder Bear of the Courage family. Hereby claim the following. Number 1, I do not identify myself with a legal name because I am not a legal person. Number 2, the name Thunder Bear is a given name. Courage is the name of my family unit. Number 3, I am not a legal resident or citizen of any nation. Now, what a resident is someone who's supposed to come in to an area and do business, and then they're expected to leave. Okay. Or, sorry, they come into an area and they're expected to do business, and they do business and they're expected to leave. I should put that way. Yeah. So that's what a resident is. You never want to claim residency, okay, or resident status. Number 4, I am not, nor have I ever been lost at sea. Number 5, I am not chattel property. That's an important one right there too, because they do consider you to be chattel property. It's in one of the executive orders. I'm thinking it's like, geez, you know what? It's been so long. It's in the. I can't remember which executive order it's in. I have to look that up one day. I used to know it right off the bat, but but whatever. I don't really use that very much anymore. Number 6, I am not an employee of any government or corporation. Number 7, I do not speak legalese. I only speak plain English. Okay. Number 8, I do not have any contracts with any fictional entities, and I refuse any and all contracts with such entities unless they are simple contracts that do not violate the laws of my tribe. Any contract I may have signed with any fictional entities in the past is null and void due to fraud and or coercion. Okay. Let's skip number 9. I need to redo some things in this notice. Number 10, I am of age of majority. Number 11, I am not a child of the state. Number 12, I do not have a legal valid birth certificate because it's proven null and void. Okay. From the beginning. Number 13, I am not acting as surety or accommodating agent for any trust or bond. Number 14, I do not have any knowledge of any debt that I owe to any legal entity. If there is a legal entity that claims I owe a debt, let that entity come forward with proof that the debt is valid and lawful, and I will pay that debt in full. Okay. Actually, that needs to be changed a little bit. And actually, probably take it out, because that really does need to be a separate thing. Okay. The reason being is because you want to move your stuff into the common law. Okay. Or into another law or jurisdiction. With me, I've got my tribe. Here, number 15 says, I am a member of the Starheart tribe as well as its captain, which I need to change. I need to change a lot of things, actually. Anyway, I carry the jurisdiction of the Starheart tribe with me always. I reserve all rights that are inherent to me as a living man, including, but not limited to, those rights outlined in the laws attached to this document. I am not bound to any law except the 7 laws of the Starheart tribe, which act in accordance with the common law of the land. Okay. That's very important right there. That instead of doing it under common law for me, I do it under my tribe's laws. Okay. So that would be something that's different from, me and you, whatever. But getting back to this other thing, if you really want to put everything into the common law, all right, you just ask a simple question. Where's the man or woman who swears that these charges are true, valid, and lawful? Okay. Simple question. And if you don't get an answer to that question, okay, and by the way, that question itself places everything into the common law. Okay. It puts it on the common law side. or in my case, it puts it into the 7 laws of my tribe. With that one question, yeah, that's what you're doing. You're shifting jurisdictions. In other words, you're getting it out of their jurisdiction, which their jurisdiction, those court jurisdictions, it can be one of 3 jurisdictions for the land that we call the United States. The first one is Templar Crown or Crown Templar jurisdiction. That's banking. The second one is Admiralty jurisdiction, and that's the English Crown, or vice versa, whatever. It's English Crown or Admiralty jurisdiction. Third one is Imperial Crown. That's Holy Roman Empire, that is. Okay. And that's essentially the Temple of Baal. Okay. The judges wear those robes, and those robes are priestly garments. And you'll notice the American flag behind them. That's Admiralty because it's got the gold fringe around it. And if you look in these courtrooms and where there's a little fence in the courtroom, you should notice 4 ropes hanging from that fence. You notice how thick those ropes are. They're way thicker than the little velvet ropes that you see at movie theaters and stuff. And the reason being is those ropes are mooring lines. There's a regulation thickness for mooring lines. In other words, the judge can act as a captain of a ship. Now, I happen to know a thing or two about Admiralty law. So no judge wants to act as a captain of a ship in front of me, because I know something like, for example, I know that in wartime, dereliction of duty is punishable by the death penalty. Well, it's always wartime. They cannot have peace ever. They always have some kind of war going on. When they say there's a war on drugs, that's a war. That's a war against the peoples that take drugs. Okay. War on poverty. That's a war on the peoples that are poor. Now, if you think that's not the case, go and look at the Constitution for the state of California. In it, you're going to see that the Constitution clearly states that no standing army can be maintained maintained with more than in times of peace more than 2 years, something like that. I'm having to paraphrase because I'm just doing it off the top of my head here. But yeah, go look it up. Okay. In other words, they can't have military bases here in time of peace. So what do? They continually declare wars. The war on terrorism is another war. Okay. So anyway, something else. Tickets are really easy. The root word of ticket is tick. That's a financial instrument that the servants of merchants give to the customers and merchants in order to complete a business transaction. Okay. So, yeah, that's all they're doing is this commerce. The whole thing is in commerce. In fact, if I scroll down here, this is just a general seeking clarification notice. Let me see if scroll through part of it here. Let's see, trying to look for the commerce part. Well, okay. Is there a contract that I have violated in this case? If there is, can you produce it? Okay. Now, if they charge you with obstructing official business, ask them to define the word business as used in the charge. They will never define that word. Okay, because it's commerce is what it is. Oh, and also there's I'm thinking here. It's 27 CFR 72.11 commercial crimes. All crimes are commercial under that little thing. Okay. So anyway, there's some more stuff in here. Like, do you believe I have a duty to obey your codes? If you believe that I do have a duty to obey your codes, can you prove? Or sorry, do you have proof? Misread that. Do you have proof? Yeah. Another thing is, hey, can you produce the laws that your court operates under? Stuff like that, you know. Oh, here we go. Tailored. This is seeking clarification tailored to a traffic violation. Are you aware that my car is my property? Now, this only applies if your car actually is your property. If you have your car registered, if you do not have the MSO or the MCO or loyal title to it, I'm not talking about the pink slip. The pink slip is just certification showing that a title exists. I'm talking about the real title. If you don't have any of that stuff, if you don't have the real title, you don't have the MSO or MCO, you don't own your car. Okay. I've got to, I hope this works. I got to play a break right quick. I'll be right back after this. Flat Earth News. The land known as Florida is 500 miles long and 160 miles wide. The land has no curvature. According to the math, there should be approximately 31.5 miles of curvature if the Earth were a sphere with a circumference of about 24,901 miles. No curvature has ever been detected at any altitude. This has been a Flat Earth News Brief with your host, Thunder Bear of the Courage Family. Peace out.
You're listening to Flat Earth Radio Live, and this is the Flat Earth Man, and all you're watching is a puppet show. All y'all watching is a puppet show. Yeah, the whole world's a stage. The whole world's a stage, man. You're listening to Flat Earth Radio Live.
Find yourself mastering the beat. Tune in and listen every Saturday for the Geocentric Eccentric with West Blaze Music, our resident musician and spiritual brother in Christ, Yahweh. The Geocentric Eccentric with West Blaze Music.
Check this
Yes,
out.
it's message in the music time once again, and only Flat Earth Radio has got it. Saturday, the true Sabbath. Lend a knee and bend an ear. Listen every Saturday for the Geocentric Eccentric with West Blaze Music.
Check this out.
Starting at 5 o'clock p.m. on the West Coast, 8 o'clock p.m. on the East Coast,
Check this out.
and 7 o'clock p.m. Central.
This is out.
The Geocentric Eccentric. Only Flat Earth Radio has got it. The Geocentric Eccentric with West Blaze Music.
As bad as I want to be. FlatEarthRadioLive.com. The Ferret.
Hey, John, you don't look so good. What's the matter?
Oh, I always feel tired and run down. You know, no energy. I think it's my poor diet or something.
Well, you know, John, I used to feel the same way. Couldn't sleep at night, couldn't stay awake in the daytime. That's when my doc told me that I had leaky gut syndrome.
Oh, wow. What'd you do? Surgery?
No way. I tried Tarsal. Tarsal is made with the finest, purest cream of tartar and MSM sulfur. And that's all. The fact that it contains all natural ingredients makes it especially desirable in today's toxic world. Tarsal is a white powder that you take every day with water or juice. Taken regularly, Tarsal can clear your leaky gut right up.
Tarsal, huh? So what else does Tarsal do?
Tarsal can help with acne, psoriasis, constipation, gallstones, heartburn, hemorrhoids, hypertension, IBS, and UTI.
Wow, that's quite a formula.
Yes, it is. And Tarsal also helps you to relax, repels insects, and can help you stop smoking.
So how do I find Tarsal?
That's easy. Just go to tarsal.com or call 619-363-1264. Try a bottle today and begin feeling normal again.
tarsul.com. Try Tarsal today.
Asking these questions that no one ever asked before because we really need to think about this. I think it's like God's unlifting the veil, you know, he's starting to show people, look, if you want to believe this, it's a lie. People are asking questions and truth is going to prevail. But yeah, the biggest problem is that we're not able to ask questions, and therefore we can't assimilate. And, you know, people are asking questions and truth is going to prevail.
Join your host, Shelley Lewis, every Wednesday afternoon, 5 o'clock p.m. Pacific Daylight Time, 7 o'clock Central, and 8 o'clock Eastern Standard Time. Down the Rabbit Hole with Shelley Lewis.
Down the Rabbit Hole with host Shelley Lewis. Only here on Flat Earth Radio Live. The Ferret.
Okay, I'm back. Yeah, I'm gonna have to redo that news segment that I did. I just did it today. Okay, let's see. Oh man, there was something I wanted to talk about, like explain. Oh yeah, contracts. Okay. I want to explain to you what a adhesion contract is. Okay. Like, so let's say you go into a restaurant and you order food. Well, what you've done is you've initiated an adhesion contract. So they're expected to bring you the food, and you expect them to bring you the food, and they expect you to pay for the food. Okay, either before the food is brought or after the food is brought. Doesn't matter. Okay. It's just their preference, whatever. So that's an adhesion contract. No one sat there and made out, pieces of paper where it's like, oh, this, I agree to pay for this and that or whatever. No, a simple adhesion contract. Now, when the police read you your rights, as it were, and by the way, they're not your rights. Anyway, when they read you your rights, they say anything you say can and will be held against you in a court of record. Well, if you say anything at all, you've just agreed to become you've just agreed to be a part of their court. Okay. You don't say anything at all. Now, I came up with an idea. I haven't tried this idea yet, but what if before they even speak, before, when they're approaching you or something, if you just said right off the bat, anything you say can and will be held against you in a court of record. I wonder what would happen, because they know the trick. Okay. Well, I do know deputy sheriffs know it. I'm not so sure about the police. The police have a tendency to be a bit dumber in my experience, but whatever. They don't really know law. They don't know maxims of law or anything like that. So yeah, I wanted to explain about contracts and adhesion contracts. There's another adhesion contract you have to be careful with as well. I had forgotten. It's just thing is there's so much. I have so much information. Sometimes I forget things. A lot of times I forget things. One of the things that I forgot, and this was like several years back, by the way, I was in court and they wanted me to take the oath. It's like, I swear under penalty, I don't know. I swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth. Whatever. Okay. Well, I took the oath. Now keep in mind, I was outside. Excuse me. Sorry about that. I was outside the fence. And where you are in the courtroom is very important, by the way. Now, this was a long time ago, and I was still kind of in the free man stuff. I just discovered Carl Lentz, but I didn't have time to really listen to, more than like a couple of his little things. Okay, his little videos or whatever, short videos. So, I was still going based on old knowledge. And I was trying to come in as a Sixth Amendment counsel under the Constitution of the United States. And they're by the way, their courts are not constitutional courts. Okay. And I knew that at the time, but I was hoping they would have to pretend they're constitutional courts. But anyway, I had taken the oath. I was still standing outside the fence, by the way, but I took the oath to swear to tell the truth. Boom! They grabbed me at that point. That's the point they grabbed me. Okay. It was like, oh, it was game over, basically. They had me because I contracted with the court. Oaths are contracts. Okay. Oaths are contracts. Never take any oath they give you. Also, titles as well. They grant you a title, that's a contract. There are obligations with that title. So if they say Mr. Let's say your name is, I don't know, John Smith, and they call you Mr. Smith, that's a title. I do not accept that title. Mr. in this case means an employee or peasant. The employee part, they think of you as a federal employee. Okay. And one moment, I got to cough again. Let me get a little bit of water. My throat's a little raw. So, yeah. Oh, man, let me get that off the screen here. I need to check on something here. Nope. All right. Sorry. I was hoping I can see something, but I didn't. Oh wait, I forgot. I got to check on something else. Not that right there. The chat. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. I didn't say any, advertise this in advance, by the way, when I was going to do it, because I didn't know exactly when I was going to do it. But the chat is open in case anyone happens to be listening right now, which is not very likely. So anyway, oh, by the way, I'm not doing this on lvrlive.com right now either. Just to let you know. Yeah, so you don't accept titles. And when I say they're administrative courts, let me get back to that. What they're doing is administrating property. And the property is that person, that legal person, the corporation. Now, the attorneys, the word attorney comes from the word attorn. Attorn means to transfer property from one master to another, or turn property over from one master to another. That's what they're doing. Most attorneys just have business degrees. Okay. Most just have business degrees. So, you can make lots of little arguments, like if they try to assign an attorney. And by the way, all the attorneys have a first duty to the court. Now that you can find in Corpus Juris Secundum. Please look that up. Corpus Juris Secundum. Let me break that down for you a little bit here. Corpus means body, juris means law, and secundum means second. Okay, it's Latin. And putting it into English grammar, that's second body of the law. Okay, like Corpus Christi, Texas is the body of Christ. Just so you know. But yeah, don't, if you're doing notices and stuff, try to keep your one page per subject if possible. Okay, one page per subject. You don't want to give the judge too much to read. All right. Don't be sitting there like, oh, I'm going to put forward, 300 pages and I'm going to really knock their socks off. They're not going to read it. They're going to just toss it in the trash. Okay. You give a judge something nice and simple to read. Now, the reason why you do this, by the way, that you give the judge something to read, is because the judge cannot hear you. Unless your hand is on the bench, which I do not recommend, by the way. I highly recommend that you do not try to put your hand on the bench, because they know what you're doing and they may tackle you or they may just shoot you. Okay. In fact, I'd recommend, generally speaking, you do not go inside that little fenced off area. Okay. Unless you really know what you're doing and you know how to nullify contracts and stuff like that. Yeah. Try to stay out of that fenced off area. That's the bridge of the ship, or the deck of the ship. I'm sorry, the deck of the ship. The captain is up on the bridge. So anyway, yeah, technically speaking, if you can somehow manage it without getting killed, if you place your hand upon the bench, the judge has to hear you. Okay. But again, I do not recommend that. Okay. Unless you got your own army. If you have your own army and they're armed in that courtroom, oh, okay, yeah, go right ahead. All right. But the way you get the judge to actually hear you, well, you have to put something in writing before the judge. Okay. You have to put it in writing. Everything in writing. And as I said, you keep it really, really super simple. Now, if you get my sword and shield method, please follow those links and listen to, like, well, there's lots of different podcasts and stuff that I have linked to that document. Listen to it though, especially Carl Lentz stuff. He goes over things, and I mean, a lot of things. I learned so much from him. He's been in this a lot longer than I have. I learned a lot from him, but I also have my own way of doing things. He likes to get in and out of court really fast, like 5 or 10 minutes in and out by, me, I like messing with them. I like messing with the court. I really do. It's fun for me. They won't let me in their courts anymore, of course, but yeah, I had a fun time in some of the courts, depending on, well, not at first, obviously, because I didn't know that very much at first. When I was still looking at the sovereign citizen crap, yeah. I made a mistake, a major mistake, actually several major mistakes while I was in the sovereign citizen crap. In one trial, I stood up at the table and I said, I hereby convene a court of public record. Now, doing that in and of itself was not the mistake. The mistake was doing it at the table rather than, and also having a defense attorney, because I saw the defense attorney wasn't doing what I was telling her to do, because her first duty is to the court. I told her exactly how to win the case and she didn't do it. I did know how to win the case, and the case was just nonsense. It was total nonsense. But when I stood up and said, I hereby convene a court of public record, a sheriff's deputy rushed up, grabbed me, shoved me onto the table hard and said, shut up, shut up, shut up, shut up, shut up. All right. And the reason being is what I'd done was I brought in another jurisdiction into their court. Okay. Into the court instead of at the court. If I was out on the other side of the fence and I was appearing at the court and I brought the other jurisdiction, it would have been fine. They would have run, actually. But yeah, that's what you're doing. You're bringing in your own jurisdiction. You're actually bringing in the common law, as it were. But yeah, you are bringing in your own jurisdiction and you're bringing in your own court. You cannot bring your own court into their court, though. Only at their court. That's a very important distinction. Okay. So another thing that's really, really super important is getting the case file not the discovery. Okay, don't get the discovery. You don't want to make contracts with them. When you get the discovery, you're making a contract with them, and you don't need the crap anyway. Okay, not until the trial is actually over with. Then you go get the discovery. Okay, make sure the charges are discharged with prejudice, and then go get the discovery. But the actual case file, you go to the courthouse as soon as you can, or get someone else to go if you cannot go for some reason, and have them act as an authorized agent for you. Okay, and get the authenticated complete authenticated certified complete case file. Okay, time stamped. You want the time stamped, and you want the court seal on it, and you want it in chronological order. Okay, remember ACC, authenticated certified copy. That's what you're looking for. In it, you will see if there's any warrants, if the warrants have a bond. Okay. The reason why you need it time stamped is because you don't want them saying, "Oh yeah, there was a bond. We put a bond with the warrant," and after you'd already gotten the complete case file. See, so if it's time stamped and they come up with that nonsense, is, "Oh yeah, we had a bond. Look, it's right here. It's in the case file." It's like, "Whoop, sorry. I got the complete authenticated complete case file, certified case file, time stamped, and that bond wasn't in there at the time," meaning the warrant was a forged instrument. The warrants are going to be forged instruments anyway, even if they don't have a bond. About 99% of them don't have bonds. Okay, but that's a really super easy way. If it doesn't have a bond, it's a really super easy way of saying this is a forged instrument, that of identifying it as such. Okay. And of course, in a seeking clarification, you can ask a simple question of, "Hey, are you trying to prosecute me using a forged instrument?" This warrant is forged. The reason why they're all forged instruments, even if they have a bond with them, is there is no man or woman putting their whole name down there and swearing under penalty of perjury that the stuff is true. Okay. Another thing is the charges. Of course, I said it before. Yeah, the charges have to be true, valid, and lawful. Are these charges true, valid, and lawful? If they can't produce any evidence that charges are true, valid, and lawful, then you just simply say, you make a claim. I, man, claim that these charges are not true, valid, and lawful. Is there any man or woman here who challenges that claim? In fact, you can just do that first. If you don't even want to ask the question, you can just go ahead and make the claim. I guarantee you that the charges are not true, valid, and lawful. For them to be true, valid, and lawful, there has to be a contract that you know about, that you agreed to. It has to be a true, lawful contract. Okay, meaning that there can't be any fraudulent non-disclosure. There can't be fraud in general. Okay, things like that. It has to meet all the requirements for a contract, and there are more than that. But you can look at all that. You can look up requirements for a contract later. Okay. Yeah, there has to be. It has to be true, valid, and lawful. Okay. True, valid, and lawful. If the charges are not true, valid, and lawful, then you don't have to pay. And the judges, by the way, will try to convince you that the charges aren't charges. Okay. That the word charges don't mean charges. They mean charges. They're just tapping and says we KV trust. That's all. Actually, well, technically the prison bond. It is a bond drawn off of the trust. It's called a prison bond. And in fact, there's different kinds of prison bonds, but I don't want to get too technical about it. You can look all that stuff up later if you want. Or if you want to email me, the email for my show is thunder.talk@yahoo.com. Man, I forgot. I keep forgetting to check that email. I gotta get in the habit of checking that email every day. I don't think I checked it in the last 2 days. Actually, I need to check it again. But yeah, thunder.talk@yahoo.com. Email me. I'll send you my sword and shield method. I'll send you the stuff on prison bonds and all kinds of stuff. All right. I got tons and tons of information. And in fact, so much information, I couldn't send you everything I've got all at once. That's impossible, really. There are limits to email, you know. And I don't want to use up too much of my data anyway. So usually I'll wait till I get to the library and send you that stuff, you know. So anyway, let's see. Let's see if I covered. Oh, there's another thing, a final thing, especially for tickets. Okay. If let's say that you just screw everything up. I mean, you just don't, you forget everything I've told you. You didn't make any notes. You didn't do any notices or anything like that. You screw everything up. And they say, you're going to pay this fine or face jail time. Oh, okay. What species of currency would you like? Simple question. What species of currency would you like? They'll probably tell you, all right, just leave the courtroom. Just go. Bye. Because Federal Reserve notes are not a species of currency, and they will only accept Federal Reserve notes. Debt. Federal Reserve notes are debt. It's like an IOU. It's debt for debt. Okay? So it's a nifty little trick. If you're just up against the wall and you have to pay a fine, and let's say you don't have my sword and shield method, so you don't know crap, that's one little thing that you can do. Okay. I would prefer it if you had my sword and shield method and you really, gave them hell first, that they didn't even get down to the fine because the charges are not true, valid, and lawful. Okay. Driver's license, by the way, is a contract. Okay. Let me explain the driver's license for a little bit here. All right. Let me say, let's see. Okay. I'll use this example here that I use a lot. Let's say that I wanted to make Superman lunch boxes. Okay. So I want to put Superman on lunch boxes and then sell them. Well, I'd have to go to Warner Brothers, which owns DC Comics, and get a license to sell a particular type of Superman product. It's not selling t-shirts. It's not selling mugs or whatever with Superman on it. It's selling only lunch boxes with Superman on it. So we make a deal. I buy the license and they'll say it's like, oh, it's good for a year, 2 years, whatever. Okay. And they'll say, okay, well, you can only have this, either this image of Superman or that image of Superman or that image of Superman, whatever. And, or, whatever. They'll give you like a choice of like maybe 5 different images of Superman. And you can pick any or all of them to put on your lunchbox, and they'll say, all right, here's a couple of images you can choose from of the name Superman, because you want to put the name Superman on your lunch boxes, right? So in other words, it's all these little details to the contract. Well, that's basically what a driver's license is. What you're doing is you're licensing the legal person, the legal name, in order to drive, which is engaging in commerce. You get behind the wheel of your car, truck, whatever, and you pilot it. But if you're engaging in commerce, you're driving. That's what a driver is. A truck driver, taxi driver. When cars first came out, the wealthy are the only ones that can afford them, and they needed drivers. So they hired drivers to drive the car. Okay. Most of them did anyway. So driving is an occupation. All right. It's an occupation. It is actually engaging in commerce if you're using the legal name. If you're not using the legal name, If you're doing it as a living man or a living woman, then you're actually engaged in trade, and that's a different matter. Okay, it's a totally different matter. Now, there's other things about tickets. You can, if you're, let's say you get stopped and you're on your way to work. Okay, you can get them for tortious interference of trade. Okay, if it's a frivolous stop, if it's a stop where they're saying you have a light out when you don't really have a light out. Okay, they're saying that you're endangering the public when you're not really endangering the public. They're saying all kinds of crap, but it's not true. And they've stopped you just to rob you, because there is something called civil forfeiture, and there's a, well, how much money you have on you. You never answer that question. You never answer any of the questions, actually. Okay, you give them questions. Seeking clarification, It depends on it depends on a lot of things, though. Because if you've got a license plate on your car, that car belongs to the state. All right, it belongs to the state. It's not yours. Okay, or maybe technically to the DMV. You want to get real technical about it, but whatever. So yeah, you can have a lawsuit against them for tortious interference of trade, meaning that you have to drag them into a court of record. Okay, not in the legal court, not in the administrative side court, but in the court of record, where all prosecutorial immunities are stripped away because their titles are stripped away. All offices are stripped away. It's no longer an officer. Instead of Officer Joe Smith, it is just Joe Smith, the man. Okay, everyone got that? Okay, good. Now, oh man, there's so much. Okay, nationality and stuff. Citizenship. Do you really want to be a citizen? A citizen is a slave. There's different ways you can do it. You can be a permanent traveler. Look up permanent traveler. Okay, on the web. You can do that. Just be a permanent traveler. You can be a national, not an American national. There's no such thing as an American national, because America is not a country. Okay, it's not a nation. Alabama is a nation. That is the Alabama with the first letter capitalized. If it's in all caps, then it's a state, which makes it a franchise. That's what I'm trying to think of. Franchise of the federal government. Okay. So, in other words, you've got different Alabamas. You've got the franchise, which is in all capital letters, the franchise being a corporation. Okay. You've got the nation, which has just the first letter capitalized. You've got the land, which is all lowercase. And the land is also the people's. Okay. So, yeah, you've got all those, right? So, the nation of Alabama, for example, you can become a national. Please get my sword and shield method. It discusses that and shows you a link to peoples that specialize in that kind of thing. Okay. And they can answer all your questions and how to do the passport and stuff like that. Okay. I'm going to be doing it a different way, but I've got special circumstances. So, yeah. I think I will have to become a national of Alabama because I do need a passport. I just do. I need to be able to engage in commerce. Now, I do. There's another way I can do it. I can go about being engaging in commerce, creating a legal fiction, which I've done, by the way. I've created a legal fiction, but there are certain things. I don't know. I'm still debating about some things. I really am. I'm still debating about things. I've got so many options. That's the problem when you know so much, is all these options are available. It's like, well, should I do this or not? I might have a way of engaging commerce without becoming a national. So I'm thinking about that too. So I don't know. And still getting a passport and everything. I've been thinking about that a little lately. So yeah, you can become a national, okay, and you get a passport that way and whatever. I don't think there's any harm in that. Technically, you have an obligation to, like, say, if you become a national of Alabama, for example, you have an obligation to Alabama, the nation. Technically, yeah. But Alabama, the nation, is it has a really weird status to it. So good luck, with anyone trying to enforce that. You know what I'm saying? I just don't know if anyone can. It's kind of a tricky thing. Now, driver's licenses. I want to go back to driver's licenses for a moment. You don't have to have a driver's license. What you can do, there's lots of options here. So don't just say, "Oh, go that option there." No, wait. Just do your research, look over all your options. The Department of Transportation, for this land that we call the United States, that's upon this land or whatever. Okay, the Department of Transportation has certification, a driver's certification. So you go get a certification from them. At least I think they do. It's been a long time since I looked into it. I may look into it again. If I do, in fact, I may look into it this week and I get back to you the next show maybe that I do. I don't know. I've got a show to do tomorrow. So who knows? I might look into it. If I've got time, I may look into it for tomorrow. So yeah, there's that. You can go to the DMV and go through most of the process of getting a license and get certified and then just don't get the license. You can do that as well. It's a trickier thing to do, but you can. If you absolutely feel you have to have a license, then get an international driver's license. Okay. Create a corporation, a corporate entity, and get a license that way, if that's what you feel you need to do. Now, there's all kinds of ways you can create these corporations. One way is just getting another birth certificate done. You can go through a baptism or some other similar ceremony. Okay. There's a lot to it, but yeah, you can go through a baptism and essentially die and be reborn legally. Okay. And be reborn as in be born again. You actually have a whole fresh new identity and everything. You would need 3 witnesses. You would need an affidavit. So you would need oh God, I'm blanking out. Why am I blanking out on this? A notary public. You need notary public. Sorry, notary public. And you would need to do it on both sides, both the lawful side and the legal side. Okay. You can't mix the two, but you can do them simultaneously. Lawful side, you do a statement of truth or a statement of fact. Sorry, statement of fact. Legal side and affidavit. Okay, it's the same thing. It's just affidavit's legal side, statement of fact is lawful side. Okay, so you have witnesses there and stuff like that. You need, of course, an official to sign off on all of it. All right. Look up the process for birth certificates, and then contact the Secretary of State. Okay, for the United States. Now, if you're in like Canada, I don't know what the Secretary of State would be. The equivalent of that would be. So whatever, find out. Okay. Or the Queen's Bench, maybe, or the Queen, even. You can write directly to the Queen. So you can have the Queen herself handle it if you're in Canada. Okay. Unless it's Quebec. Quebec is different. It's French. So I don't know about that. That's kind of a weird thing. I think they're all under code in Quebec, not under the common law. So whatever. You're just going to have to figure it out. Or maybe I can help you figure it out if you email me or something. Okay. So yeah, there's that. There's all these different options. Okay. Let's see. Hang on a second. I started at about 6:30, 6:30, 7:30, 7:30, 8:30. Okay, cool. All right. I just seen how much time I had. I didn't want to go over. In fact, I want to keep it under 2 hours, just a little slight bit under 2 hours, because I think this is be going out over ferlive.com eventually here. So anyway, let's see. I'm looking at my notes here. Do want to tell you that all the legal people, legal entities like cops and lawyers and judges, they're all criminally insane. Okay. That's just to let you know, they're all criminally insane. Let's see. You know what? Let's see. That may be it for that. Oh, you know what? I forgot to. Damn it! I got this right here in the very top of my notes. I forgot to do it at the very beginning of the show. You will learn. Resistance is futile. Your state of mind is irrelevant. There. I should have done that at the top of the show. Oh well. Okay, now I can get to the news. Let's minimize all this stuff here. Okay. Let's see. This is a man arrested facing a year in prison for telling police they are pissing on the Constitution. Okay, I'm not going to actually read the story. I did last Sunday, but whatever. And I just want to kind of try to get through the news here. I got a lot of news. Okay. Yeah. Essentially, this guy sent the police an email because they weren't doing what he needed them to do. For one thing, they are under no obligation to help you whatsoever. Okay, because there's no valid contract. There is no valid contract. Now, as far as pissing all over the Constitution, technically, no, they weren't. This man is not a party to the Constitution, neither are they. No one is a party to the Constitution. The Constitution is a dead contract. Okay, it's a dead contract. No one living, as far as I know, is actually a party to the United States Constitution. All right. Rights flexing mom sends cops packing after they try to enter her home with no warrant. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. There's a lot of things to unpack there. Was it really her home or not? Because if you don't have a loyal title to the land, then technically it's not really your home. You have to have a loyal title. Again, you need my sword and shield method. Okay. You need my sword and shield method. So you know exactly what I'm talking about, a loyal title and how to get it. As far as a warrant, yeah. You say, well, they're prohibited under the Constitution from search and seizure without a warrant. No, they're not. Again, they're not a party to the contract. However, they kind of have to pretend to be, and the cops may not actually know they're not under the Constitution. Okay. The cops are pretty dumb. They don't know a lot. So whatever. Yeah, as far as the warrants, I already went over warrants. Okay. Is there a bond with the warrant? Is there some man or woman swearing under penalty of perjury that the warrant is true? What about the information on the warrant? Does it have your name in all caps? Oh, that's not you. Okay, that's not you. You do not identify with that name. Okay. Does it have the correct address? Stuff like that. Well, most likely it doesn't, actually. The thing about addresses, okay, for example, my papa, that was my mom's dad. Okay. He lived on Route 6 something, I forgot the exact address, but it was Route 6 something, whatever. It was under the post office. When the Postal Service came in, they gave that house a different address. Okay. That address is not right. That address is for a residential unit. Okay. Now my papa doesn't live there anymore. In fact, he's dead. Okay, he's been dead for a while now. But let's pretend for a moment that he does still live there. Okay. Well, he would be considered a resident and he'd probably be paying property tax. Well, unless I got a hold of him and said, no. Here's how you do it. Okay. Here's how you get off the tax rolls. You don't have to pay property tax anymore. You take the address back to what it used to be under the post office. Okay. Not the Postal Service. So technically none of the addresses are correct on any of the warrants. Cold water is good, so how could it be bad? Okay, well, this story, very briefly, if you're overheating, do not drink cold water. Okay, because it can send your body into shock and you can pass out. Okay. Just, cool water, room temperature water. Fine. The feds lost 1,475 migrant children. They didn't actually lose them. They just sent them to pedophile networks. Americans favor $15 an hour for Congress. Okay, well, number one, Congress is not really Congress. It's total fraud. I can't go into all that right now. But number two, I think it's a pretty cool idea. Make them work hourly wages. If Congress was actually real, which it's not, but whatever. It's a whole nother subject. Federal judge rules that the public has no right to know about Dakota pipeline spills. Technically correct. The ruling was technically correct. Okay. Gee, I really want to go into all that. It also depends on the definition of the word public. You should ask the federal judge how he defines public. Okay. But the all that's under private corporations. Every bit of it's under private corporations. So yeah, technically correct. That's all to sum it up there. Report finds UN employees 3,300 pedophiles. Employees. Please. Let me do that one again. Report finds UN employees 3,300 pedophiles responsible for 60,000 rapes in the last 10 years. Okay. Czech government tells its citizens how to fight terrorists. Shoot them yourselves. Yeah, there's nothing else I need to say about that. Man saves 1,000 pounds a month living in tiny eco home, which costs £350 a week to run. I'm not sure how you say that. It's English pounds, obviously. It's a form of currency. Well, actually, technically not currency, but whatever. It's banknotes. It's what the pound actually is, a banknote, which means it's a debt instrument. Okay, but anyway, yeah, I like that $3. I keep wanting to say $3.50. It's pounds though. 3.5 pounds, I guess. I don't know. Yeah, because it reminds me of that skit in South Park. the Loch Ness monster, warning 350. He says 350, 350, $3.50. You got 350 and $3.50. Oh crap. I've got something on here that says content isn't available right now. Whatever. I have no idea what it was. Measles vaccines kill more people than measles. CDC data proves. This is global research. Yes, from global research. They need to change their name. Satanic Symbol successfully argues that Missouri's abortion laws violate their religious freedom. Kind of technically, yeah. It's an interesting argument. Do I want to go into that? You know what? Actually, I might do that some other time. Go into like religion and law and stuff and flesh it out a little more. So let's move on. After decades of pushing bachelor's degrees, U.S. needs more tradespeople. I should say peoples, actually. Tradespeoples. Yeah, that's from pbs.org. Yeah, they're right. Trade schools, better than colleges. Much better than colleges, actually. Generally speaking. 27 years ago, cops abandoned Korean Americans in the LA riots, so they used their own guns. Yeah, there's nothing else that needs to be said about that. Montana legislature calls for $1,000 a day fines in jail for CPS workers who kidnap children. Yeah, you can do the fines yourself, though. Okay, seriously, you hold forth your own court and do your own fines. So I kind of like the story and I kind of don't. I'm split on it, really. In a way, I like it. In a way, I don't. Because what it does is it kind of says, don't worry, government will take care of it. And the government's a fake government. So whatever. Drinking California tap water over a lifetime, could increase cancer risk, study says. Dozens of CPS case workers caught lying, falsifying documents. Yes. Let me talk about that for a moment. Okay. Unless a caseworker or government agent actually stands up on the witness stand in court and says, we lied, the judge can't do a damn thing. Okay. The judge has to assume always that agents are telling the truth. Even if all of the circumstantial evidence, all the evidence says that the agent is lying, the judge still has to assume that the agent is telling the truth. Just to let you know. Okay. Prosecutorial immunities. Look into them. Baltimore cops carry toy guns to play on people they shot, trial reveals. Yeah, it's been known for a long time that the cops done that, but it's good to see that it was revealed in a trial. It should be really just totally unlawful for the cops to carry toy guns. Americans want drug tests for cops. Cops say it's unconstitutional. Technically, it's not. It's not unconstitutional because it's not violating the contract because they're not a party to the contract in the first place. But it's really interesting how the cops want to test you, but they don't want to be tested. Prominent biochemistry professor warns 5G is the stupidest idea in the history of the world. Yeah, maybe. I don't know. FDA. Ambien is making people kill themselves while asleep. Yeah. There's been a lot of stories about Ambien and people's doing all kinds of crazy things while they're on it. And they don't even know that they're doing it. Retrofitted air conditioners could turn carbon dioxide into fuel. The technology doesn't exist yet, though. But it's just a plan that's proposed. Internal memo confirms SpaceX explosion video is real. Yeah, they caught SpaceX got caught lying again. Okay. And NASA oversees SpaceX, by the way. So, what can you say? Maybe I'll do a flat Earth show coming up. I don't know when. Talk about all that stuff. Do you really own your digital possessions? Kind of, yeah, kind of no. Really, if you think about it, there's a lot of stuff about these smartphones and stuff that you have no control over. They come with prepackaged software, and some of it's just bloatware, especially the Android phones. Yeah, I don't know. It's a lot of stuff to go into. A new law would require courts to rule on who your parents are even before you're conceived. This it comes from abovethelaw.com, which is a lawyer site. It's complicated how I feel about that. Part of it is the reason being is because of the surrogate mothers and stuff. So they want to basically make sure that everything is sorted out before the baby is even conceived. Okay. Part of it is a bit dangerous because courts are meddling where they don't need to be meddling in, but that's a whole nother subject. Cannabis-based medicine may reduce seizures for children with difficult to treat epilepsy. Cops charged after video shows them pull a disabled man from his home, torture him in front yard. Yeah, they'll do that. They're pack animals. They prey on the weak and defenseless, the old, the very young. Watch YouTube steal thousands of videos in real time. Yep. That's thousands of views in real time. Yeah, they'll do that. My Facebook page has been acting really, really weird. I had 4,999 Facebook friends, so I had one Facebook friend left. And now the count, by the way, I've been adding and adding and adding Facebook friends since then. The count is now at 4,981 Facebook friends. I keep adding more friends, and yet somehow I keep losing them. I don't know. I don't know what's going on. I got one item for review on my page here. Oh, God damn it. Peter Austin Meyer Sr. keeps posting this bull crap on my page, or trying to. Ray-Ban sunglasses, 1 day sale. God damn it. Remove tag. I hate it when they tag. I don't mind someone tagging my page with really good information or something, but when they're advertising like that, no thanks. Let me get back to my Lightning Post page on Facebook. I've got 3 pages, by the way, on Facebook. I've got my main page, which is Thunder Bear Courage, or Thunder Bear the Courage Family. You can type that in. I've got, damn it, hang on, some started coming up here. I've got my Lightning Post page, which is the show page for my show, whatever. And I have Star Freedom Fighters page, which I very rarely post anything to anymore. There are others, administrators, that have basically taken over the page, which is fine, because I just don't have time for it. I actually like that they've taken over the page, because again, I just don't have much time. Occasionally, I'll post something there though. But yeah, they post a lot of stuff, mostly on CPS and courts and stuff like that. So I have to scroll back down. Hang on. Oh yeah, I forgot to mention about the tiny home thing. Yeah, if you can, if you're like a single man or single woman, or just like a couple or something, you might want to think about scaling down your life. There are these foamcrete houses or aircrete houses or whatever. They're about $5,000 a piece. You might want to consider them if you own your home. Okay, if you own it outright, or maybe you're paying a mortgage. Well, there's ways of dealing with a mortgage. By the way, the mortgages are pure fraud. Okay, there's a form in there called release of mortgage, and well, if you get my sword and shield method, you'll see how to deal with mortgages. Okay, you get that taken care of, right? So you own your home outright. Let's say it's a really nice house worth like $100,000. If you were to maybe, take a little bit of money, you maybe borrow money or something or whatever, go get you a piece of land, get a lloyd-deal title to the land, or create a lloyd-deal title to the land, build a small aircrete house, and then sell that house that you've got, you would have enough money to retire if you were smart with it. Okay, think about it. Okay, let me keep scrolling down here. Oh, scroll. Getting back to these news stories here. Okay, consumer alert: Tylenol's empathy killing properties confirmed in second case study. Oh, I've got to do another break. Hang on. I will be right back after this. Flat Earth News. The land known as Florida is 500 miles long and 160 miles wide. The land has no curvature. According to the math, there should be approximately 31.5 miles of curvature if the Earth were a sphere with a circumference of about 24,901 miles. No curvature has ever been detected at any altitude. This has been a Flat Earth News Brief. Your host, Thunder Bear Earth Courage family. Peace out.
You're listening to Flat Earth Radio Live, and this is the Flat Earth Man, and all you're watching is a puppet show. All y'all watching is a puppet show. Yeah, the whole world's a stage. The whole world's a stage, man. You're listening to Flat Earth Radio Live.
Find yourself mastering the beach. Tune in and listen every Saturday for the Geocentric Eccentric with West Blaze Music, our resident musician and spiritual brother in Christ, Yahushua. The Geocentric Eccentric with West Blaze Music.
Check this
Yes,
out.
it's message in the music time once again, and only Flat Earth Radio has got it. Saturday, the true Sabbath. Lend a knee and bend an ear. Listen every Saturday for the Geocentric Eccentric with West Blaze Music.
Check this out.
Starting 5 o'clock p.m. on the West Coast, 8 o'clock p.m. on the East Coast,
Check this out.
and 7 o'clock p.m. Central.
This is out.
The Geocentric Eccentric. Only Flat Earth Radio has got it. The Geocentric Eccentric with West Blaze Music.
As bad as I want to be. FlatEarthRadioLive.com. The Ferret.
Hey, John, you don't look so good. What's the matter?
Oh, I always feel tired and run down. No energy. I think it's my poor diet or something.
Well, John, I used to feel the same way. Couldn't sleep at night, couldn't stay awake in the daytime. That's when my doc told me that I had leaky gut syndrome.
Oh, wow. What'd you do? Surgery?
No way. I tried Tarsal. Tarsal is made with the finest, purest cream of tartar and MSM sulfur. And that's all. The fact that it contains all natural ingredients makes it especially desirable in today's toxic world. Tarsal is a white powder that you take every day with water or juice. Taken regularly, Tarsal can clear your leaky gut right up.
Tarsal, huh? So what else does Tarsal do?
Tarsal can help with acne, psoriasis, constipation, gallstones, heartburn, hemorrhoids, hypertension, IBS, and UTI.
Wow, that's quite a formula.
Yes, it is. And Tarsal also helps you to relax, repels insects, and can help you stop smoking.
So, how do I find Tarsal?
That's easy. Just go to tarsal.com or call 619-363-1264. Try a bottle today and begin feeling normal again.
TARSUL.com. Try Tarsal today.
Asking these questions that no one ever asked before because we didn't need to think about this. I think it's like God's unlifting the veil, you know? He's starting to show people, look, you want to believe this, it's a lie. People are asking questions, and truth is going to prevail. Like, yeah, the biggest problem is that we're not able to asking questions, and therefore we can't assimilate. You know, people are asking questions, and truth is going to prevail.
Join your host, Shelley Lewis, every Wednesday afternoon at 5 o'clock p.m. Pacific Daylight Time, 7 o'clock Central, and 8 o'clock Eastern Standard Time. Down the Rabbit Hole with Shelley Lewis.
Down the Rabbit Hole with host Shelley Lewis. Only here on Flat Earth Radio Live. The Ferret.
Okay, back. All right. As I was saying, yeah, Tylenol's empathy killing properties confirmed in second study. Yeah, kills your empathy, man. Yeah, I think that's what they want, isn't it? You gotta be careful with these drugs. Oh geez, what is it? Dimetap. You stay away from Dimetap, especially if don't give Dimetap to a little kid. Okay, they'll start. They could start seeing snakes, even though snakes aren't there. Okay. Court ruling confirms Merck's Gardasil HPV vaccine kills people. Did anyone ever notice? Probably not. Yeah. Let's see. Minneapolis to pay $20 million to family of woman murdered by police officer. Scientists have discovered an antidote to the world's deadliest venom. That's the box jellyfish. They have the deadliest venom. It kills you within a matter of minutes. Oh, great. I have no idea what this story is. Ingenious gadget could harvest battery material from the ocean. Okay. Yeah, don't get too excited about it, though. But yeah, it's theoretically possible. Okay. McDonald's is installing AI-powered kiosk to predict your order. Yeah. Not so sure how that's going to work. Smart door locks have policies that let landlords and third parties spy on you. Yeah, they just did a lawsuit in New York, and you have a right to make it a manual keyed door lock. By the way, it's in New York City. CDC wants you to stop washing your raw chicken. It's because it spreads salmonella. Scientists find new way to improve performance of lithium sulfur batteries. New computer chip could stop hacks before they start. What it does is it kind of scrambles some of the data that it has in a certain way, and it keeps scrambling it. So anyway, cops break window, pull people from car after wrongly accusing them of seat belt violation. Yeah, it's just a super quick video. I think it's like 45 seconds or something. And you can see, they're thugs. Facebook to ban users who share InfoWars content unless it is explicitly condemning it. By the way, tomorrow's show is going to be on censorship. So I'll be talking about this and other stories and other stuff. Predator cops guilty of sex crimes against women and children are a menace to society. Yeah, that's kind of a no-duh thing, like, yeah, really. Infuriating. Facebook post shows TSA destroy ashes of man's dead mom to keep you safe. Yeah, TSA is just, it's the worst, isn't it? It's not effective at all. And they're just trampling all over your human rights. And when they destroyed the ashes, by the way, they did so against policy. Let's see. Oh, Carl Lentz is bringing back his show. It's the loresociety.com is his new website. Okay. Lore, it's TheLoresociety.com. And so yeah, he's got a new show coming out. It's good. Let's see. Oh, that's the end of that news. Wow. You know what? I may. Oh, did I? Okay, yeah. All right. I tell you what. Let me go over to. I went through the news faster than I thought I would. I'll just do some of the newer news stories. There's a story I posted up here. This is kind of a. I don't know what you call it. It's kind of a surface level news story. It's not really important or anything. But it's this woman, and she bought the Flintstone house in California, and she added a bunch of stuff like Fred Flintstone figures and a dinosaur figure and stuff like that, whatever. And the town that she lives in wants her to get rid of all that stuff because it's an eyesore. They say it's an eyesore. Well, it's a matter of opinion. Quite frankly, I saw the pictures and it's like it looks pretty cool. It's a really cool thing. You know, I wouldn't think it's an eyesore. You know, and there's lots of kids that wouldn't think it's an eyesore. Do they have any right though to go after her like that? No, they don't. As long as she owns her own land. I don't know if she actually owns her own land though. But if she owns her own land, nope. They don't have any right because she's not causing harm, injury, or loss to anyone. She's not putting the public in danger or anything like that. All right. Now you could make an argument about community standards or something like that, but in this case, I mean, it's not like she has Fred and Wilma Flintstone figurines out there, you know, having sex or something. No, it's just it looks like decorations that a theme park would have. You know, so if you had a theme park in your neighborhood, provided it didn't make like lots and lots of noise or something, you know, would that be a bad thing? Would that be an eyesore? You know, it's like they don't have anything. But anyway, I made a note on this. It says writers don't know how to write anymore. It's cast a pall, not casted a pall. Even my spell check just caught the mistake just now. Actually, I put just in wrong. I put just in twice, but whatever. There may be more mistakes, but I haven't finished reading the article yet. It's true. I hadn't finished reading the article. I got maybe a fourth of the way through. But yeah, cast, not casted. The past tense of the word cast is cast. The present tense is cast. The future tense is cast. It's just one of those words, you know. Does removing your appendix put you at risk for Parkinson's? And there's a like story or something. I didn't get to read it. These news stories I haven't read yet. They're really for tomorrow's show, whatever. Scientists break distance record for quantum communication. It was 1 meter, by the way. It took me a while to skim through that. I didn't actually read the story. I just skimmed it. Anyway, why you may want to stop using plastic bottles. That's another story. Yeah, you might want to check that out if you don't know about that. With humans out of the way, Chernobyl's wildlife thrives. 33 years after the accident. It's really interesting that it's from Popular Science, which is, Freemason thing, Illuminati thing, whatever. It's Popular Science magazine. 33. 33 is a Freemasonic number. Whenever you see the number 33 in the news, think Freemasons. Okay. I didn't actually get to really read the story. I did skim through it though. Airborne NASA scientists just filmed something troubling in Greenland. And I said, NASA's real satellite at work. Yeah, that's the vast majority of satellite photos are just airplane photos. Okay. They might be like drone photos too, but yeah, it's just airplane photos, high altitude usually. People keep dropping their AirPods onto subway tracks. AirPods are those wireless earbuds. And yeah, anyway, just be careful of those things. Astronauts have eye problems in space, and swimming goggles might help. And they put, ha ha ha. Is this just another way of saying the astronauts film their space stuff in pools? Love it. Yes, give them the goggles and then fire their asses. Disband NASA as well. Yeah. Absolutely. They're just filming it in buoyancy pools. I mean, come on. Crap band sues crap beer maker. Hair metal rockers have an axle to grind over Guns N' Roses. Guns N' Roses. Yeah, it was a crap beer called Guns N' Roses, and Guns N' Roses is suing them because it's giving them a bad name. Because they have lots of other products like T-shirts and stuff. Amazon agrees to stop selling toxic jewelry, school supplies to kids. Costs up some cash, some couch change, $700,000. Yeah, that's nice of Amazon, isn't it? To stop selling toxic stuff to kids. Yeah, it's really nice of them. I said facetiously. Scientists created a display with pixels 1 million times smaller than those on a smartphone. Yeah, they just created the pixels, and they can't really do like video and stuff with the pixels yet. And I'm not sure if they really can. I read through the article, but I didn't really, sit down and really concentrate on it. So I know they've been having some troubles, but it's mostly for like the sides of buildings and stuff, and the way that it works. It runs it really super cheaply and stuff. Software update caused hundreds of police ankle monitors to go dark, and that was I forgot what country that was in. Maybe Sweden or something, or I don't know, Finland. I think it's Finland. Yeah. Anyway, stop brushing your teeth with charcoal toothpaste. Yeah, it does. It causes harm to your teeth. Don't use charcoal toothpaste. In fact, don't use fluoridated toothpaste either. Sodium fluoride rots teeth out. Global helium shortage has gotten so bad, Party City is closing 45 stores. Yeah. There's a little comment that Mary Alice D. Miller says on here. It says, because NASA buys $750 million every year of helium, I guess, for their satelloons. I don't know where she got the figure from or something, but it sounds reasonable, I guess. The most toxic place you can go this weekend might be a nail salon. Yeah. God, do you really need a story to tell you that? I go past nail salons sometimes, and their doors will be open, and it's so noxious. And you see the workers wearing the mask, which don't protect them, by the way. They really don't. The masks are not protective enough. So, yeah. Anyway, beat a brain-based lie detector test with 2 simple mental tricks. So if you're interested in those metal tricks, go. You can go to my main Facebook page. It's Thunder Bear Courage, or type in Thunder Bear the Courage Family. Actually, in order to get to it, and and look at that new story. Newly invented zombie-like cells act alive despite being dead. I kind of skimmed a little bit of the story, but I didn't pay close enough attention to it to see what it's all about. Facebook's AI may be helping terrorists to get away with murder. Yeah, it's because they keep deleting the stuff. And YouTube as well. They delete the terrorist post. And when they do that, they delete evidence of the crimes and whatever, It turns out that when the terrorists post things on YouTube and Facebook, then the ones going after the terrorists or so-called terrorists, a lot of them are so-called terrorists, they can get clues and stuff and go actually arrest the terrorist. So, yeah, whatever. Puerto Rico's forgotten island. Tesla's busted solar panels tell a cautionary tale. Tesla came in and said, "Hey, we'll put in some solar panels for you and some batteries and get you up and running because the island was hit by a couple of hurricanes." And I said, "Oh, it's a great idea and everything." Except one thing, the wiring couldn't handle it, and they said, "Well, doesn't work because the wiring that you have in the building can't handle it. So, bye." They just left them. Oh, I hate Tesla so much. The company, that is. A hacking ring stole millions by hijacking SIM cards, feds say. So be careful about that. SIM cards in your phone stuff. Cryptocurrency. Don't get cryptocurrency. Just don't get it. I know you can make lots of money off of it, but come on. Whatever. Judge sentenced teenager to 76 years based on eyewitnesses. He did not know was eyewitness. He did not know was legally blind. Yeah, the guy that was eyewitness was legally blind. Okay, and the thing is that prosecuting attorneys, because they have the prosecutorial immunities, they're able to withhold exculpatory evidence. Exculpatory evidence is evidence that says that you're innocent. That would have been exculpatory evidence because there was no evidence whatsoever other than this guy's testimony. And the guy was legally blind. The penal system today is slavery. Lawmakers finally start. Oh, wait, back up for a moment. That other story I was talking about. Yeah, I just remembered the guy actually said that he didn't have a problem with his eyesight. So he lied under penalty of perjury. Okay. And according to the rules, the prosecutors are allowed to do things like that. Okay, so anyway, penal system today is slavery. Lawmakers finally start to talk about unpaid labor in Texas prisons. Yeah, that's a big thing. Actually, I ran a story about that, and I actually did the audio from a video on it. I may do the audio some other time too. Again, let's see. I'm gonna skip that one too. Well, if you ever want to know what's the difference between pool and billiards, you can look on my page here. Got that story. America's 10 best airlines. I've got that. The peculiar case of bees at Notre Dame. The Notre Dame Cathedral, or Notre Dame. Sorry, Notre Dame Cathedral, whatever. There's a video on that. There's a link to a video that is. if I got some really cool links to really cool videos on here. So yeah, if you just have some time and you want to learn a lot of stuff and see interesting things and even funny things, please check out my page. Because I got a lot of stuff. I got a little meme on here. Satellites are made with aluminum and Kevlar. Kevlar strength is reduced 50% at 500 degrees Fahrenheit. Aluminum melts at 1,221 degrees Fahrenheit. The thermosphere, where the satellites are supposed to be, is between 932 degrees Fahrenheit and 3,632 degrees Fahrenheit. In other words, it's a temperature range. It fluctuates. So, in other words, those satellites should be melted. And in the last 4 minutes of the show, roughly here. So, yeah, just want to remind you that my show tomorrow is going to be, I'll be doing it on censorship and some other things. I haven't actually put it together yet. I'll be putting it together maybe, I don't know, maybe sometime tomorrow morning. And yeah, it's on ferlive.com and it's on at 5 p.m. Pacific time. Okay. And I will go back and try to put my contact information in this in the notes for this this video. And yeah, and I'll try to remember to keep doing that, putting that in the show notes and make it a habit of doing it. And I am sorry that I had to redo the show. I really I don't know, it maybe turned out to be a better show actually. But yeah, there's I don't know, there's a lot of things I really should have covered maybe. I could have gone back and covered a little more of my sword and shield method. In fact, I could touch on that right quick. I've got maybe 2 minutes here. No one can adjudicate a case within which they are an interested party. In other words, if a judge gets money for sending you to jail, which they do, by the way, then the judge cannot adjudicate the case because he or she is an interested party. Judges, attorneys, and court clerks make money from the prison bond whenever the judge sentences someone to jail. Okay. Do not use their codes and statutes. Their stuff is their stuff, not yours. All their codes under the United States must be backed by the statutes at large. So if you're looking at like penal codes or whatever, penal codes, by the way, are prisoner of war codes. Just so you know, you're considered a prisoner of war if they're charging you under penal codes. Then you'll see on the very bottom of that code, it'll say stat, and it'll give a number. That's a statute at large, okay? Which is important, but something for another day, maybe. Here's the requirements for a contract. There must be an agreement. That's offer and acceptance. There must be consideration. That's money or goods or services, trading hands. All parties must possess the mental capacity to comprehend the contract. There cannot be fraud. There you go. That's the requirements for a contract. Let's see, the Miranda warnings. Oh, we already did that. You can create your own live-born record and identification. Your identification is functional equivalent to a state-issued ID. Remember, a state-issued ID is the property of the state. Okay. Oh, that's another thing I wanted to talk about, and I forgot. Yeah, you can, if you want, just get a state ID if that's what you want to do. Okay, instead of a driver's license, but that's something else. So anyway, yeah, I want to go ahead and end the show, I guess. So if you're pulling out of a parking lot at night, please turn on your headlights and your taillights if you're in a defective car, and don't give the police a chance or a reason to pull you over. So good night.